Hello beautiful people, back again with another Oracle deck review for you. Today we're going to look at Kyle Gray's Angels and Ancestors Oracle deck. So obviously by Kyle Gray, and the artwork is by Lily Moses. This is a really beautiful deck which I have used for quite a while for myself, and I find it's not only good as an Oracle deck, but I find it's also great as a focus on my altar as well, and I find myself pulling different cards to be able to use as part of perhaps when I've set up for a particular Sabbath or a particular focus, or to do meditation with, or all that sort of thing. Even add to spells when I've set up my altar with a particular spell focus as well. So it's a very versatile deck. It's a very pretty deck, and even as using it as an oracle deck, I find it's really one of those scarily accurate ones where you can pull even just one card and get exactly what you need. So I really love this deck. I like a lot of Kyle Gray's work, but I particularly like this deck of his. So this is a 55 card deck, and here we have the guidebook. Quite a decent thickness of a guidebook. And Kyle goes into how to use the oracle cards, so explaining a bit about the deck. Now he divides his cards up into, there's the sacred ones, guardians and messengers, warrior symbols and seasons. So you'll find there's cards that kind of fall under each of those categories, which he explains a little bit. And then he talks about creating a bond with your oracle cards as well, which I do recommend for any of your decks that you want to seriously work with. He does have a little connection ceremony that he has popped in there that we can use, which is really wonderful. I love decks that include that sort of a thing, so you can really get a sense and a feel for that particular deck and creating a unique connection with that particular deck. And then he goes into how you use the oracle deck, so from how they work to how you can conduct your readings, raising your vibrations, storing your cards, how to cleanse them, shuffling and reading for yourself. And of course he has some of his own spreads that he utilizes in the guidebook, or he shares with us in the guidebook. So there's a 2-card spread, the Celtic Compassion spread, which is 9 cards, past life lessons spread, which is 7 cards, and there's a 3-card, and he also mentions a bit about the 1-card questions as well, plus your jumping cards and reversed cards too. And then we dive into the different meanings of the cards. So each card you get about a double page spread, and each card has like a to the point message where he's very concise in what that meaning is. So if you really just want to quickly flick and get a quick idea as to what the message is, then you've got the message aspect here. Then he goes about, which is about the actual card itself. So here with the druid, he talks a bit about, you know, what is a druid, and shares a bit about that. And then there's also an extended message. So if you want a bit more information than what he has included in the more concise section, this expands on that message for you. So every card has those sections. And of course there's some keywords as well with each card too, which is actually written on the cards themselves as well. So that continues all the way through the guidebook in that way. Let's take a look at the cards themselves. The back is really quite lovely. We've got the owls and some symbols. And then, as I say, the cards are really quite pretty. They're really kind of earthy colours. But you really have a mix. It's not just people in the cards. As you can see, mountains and sun and spring. So some fabulous ones that you can use on your altar. But he really draws out the different energies connected with these things too, as part of the card reading side itself. The cards are really a nice card stock. It's a nice thick card. You've got masculine and feminine depicted throughout, so it's not really one-sided in either way. And I'm sure you could come up with some other ways to use the Oracle deck too, with the way it's all been divided up as well. Come up with some unique ways, maybe of pulling a card from each one of the sections. He's divided it up in. There'd be a multitude of ways you could really utilize this deck. I really love the energy that comes with this one. There's some cards that really, really resonate with me that I find I go to regularly for my altar and even for meditation on. So that is our beautiful Oracle, the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. If you've used this deck, I would love to hear from you in the comments, or even just giving me a comment on what you think of the flick through, what we've just looked at, if it's a deck you think you would use for yourself. It is available through Mystical Dragon, both through our physical store in Seaford, Australia, and through our online store at mysticaldragon.com.au. You'll find a tab for our e-store there. Don't forget to like our videos, subscribe as well. I regularly look at and do different Oracle decks. I'm hoping to do tarot decks soon, some reviews and flip throughs. We look at different diaries, a few different books, and I do dot that through with information about energy portals and new moons and full moon energies and spells and things like that as well, for those of you that like to follow all of the energetic side and the magical side of things. So I would love to have you become part of our community, to follow along and join us regularly. We do have Facebook and Instagram as well, and we have a community group on the Facebook too where we can share and discuss. So we'd love to have you join us. If you're interested, just check out in the description below. You will see all of those links and information for you. Take care, everyone. Sending out loads of blessings and looking forward to catching you again in a future video.